Hey, let's get into the other dream work. That was a long prediction in part one. In part two, we are talking about my cat. Um, I've already told you that my dream work was not, I didn't, the dream work was starting to remember things for myself. Um, the predictions is just something that the cosmos is providing possible for me. Anybody can have psychic abilities. You can build it or whatever it is, and dream work is not inherently psychic. Um, it's more of a sense of self, and you can focus on that. And if you're supposed to be a messenger, you can get from based on that, or more Cosmo um, predictions. They can tell you. I didn't tell you in the part one, but in part two, I'm telling you that I asked the cosmos. I asked the fairies at one point. I go, "Hey, these dreams. I've had this prediction. Have I had predictions before? And I've had predictions before that they're telling me that yeah, but you didn't know it. So it's not always that you need to know all of the predictions. Sometimes in your subconscious, it'll tell you this. It'll just kind of paint how you behave anyway, like you would for the moon or the other cosmos, the planets, the astrology. That affects you without your knowledge, and your subconscious from your dreams sometimes doesn't even have to do with your knowledge either. So I wouldn't, if you're learning to do dream work, it's not inherently for you to expect for you to be, oh, I know all this stuff for Cosmo. You already had predictions in the past because it comes to all of us. You don't remember the dreams, but that shit happens and you get all these healing or whatever without you even knowing. You heal great when you're asleep. Of course that applies to your brain. Is this on? Let me check this. Great. Okay. So I'm going to come into this first dream with Karl, and then I have the second one, which is the one that became true. Um, the first one is I was having a rough dream. The dream is for me. I told you my dream works is to remember things, which is trauma. So I'm trying to do it slowly but surely. I'll remember. So certain themes that happen in real life is coming back up because I'm providing myself safety so I can dream, I can learn about all of this. I can be okay with whatever I learn. But that shit will make me sad, it will make me depressed because you have to have space to grieve whatever may have happened. My cat is a witch, and actually, he is my guide. He's not always going to be my guide. Um, it feels like because he's really he's communistic too. He wants to be his good guide for the early set of our little relationship, our partnership. There's not going to be always the necessity of him guiding me, but he does value it a lot. That it gives him a sense of purpose, that he's happy to make sure that we figure it out alongside with joy and experience and great time. And I've been being an even better cat mother, cat parent than I have in the past. So he's not always going to be he's always going to be a witch. He might always be in my dreams. Um cuz that's also can be fun. And he's always my buddy. Um he might not always want to teach me about which stuff. Maybe I figure it out without his guide. And I don't know. I think he's always going to guide me. He might always, but it might not always be as huge as it is now. Um, so the dream that I first had was having a very sad time going on, um, and I had friends, and I was in this mansion. I was trying to talk to an interviewer for a lawsuit that I'm gonna probably do at some point based on my trauma that I don't remember yet. So in the dream, the interviewer doesn't have time for me, so I have my friends, which is not my real friends. They are in my dream. I do not know these people in real life. We go into the mansion where the interviewer is, and there's no time for us, so we're there. They have a bunch of dogs there. Dogs is my spirits to help me to remember all of this stuff. They are hellhounds. Dogs that we see in the world, it applies to what we have in the cosmos. Hellhounds is more of a protectors. Um, so I get a lot of those. Um, there, Carl was there first as his Carl as a kitty. There was another cat there. It felt like it might have been Bessie, my neighbor cat. But it wasn't actually Bessie. It just looked like Bessie. Bessie doesn't know how to do my dreams, I don't think. Um, at some point, I don't know where Carl is. I don't see the kitty. It's pouring. It's pouring. It's like a storm. It's like almost like a hurricane. Um, outside there is a there's a cougar. There's a cougar that's supposed to get in here. And it gets inside. And I'm like, oh my god, there's a fucking cougar. Oh my god. How are we gonna do it? It's in the house and there's this hurricane going on. It really was it says a storm, but I guess it didn't feel like a hurricane. But everything does, you know, thunder and a lightning and a shitload of rain. So I guess it still applies. There's this cougar coming in here. I'm like, okay, this is a very cute dream, okay? So this cougar is in here, and I'm like, oh my god, I have all my friends with me. I have these dogs. I have this. There's at least one cat, and maybe my cat also. He was here somewhere. I need to pick up this cougar. I need to get this shit out. And you know what? Cougars can be violent and all that. It's still so close and all that. I could be at risk. So I take the cougar. I don't know how to grab Carl's scruff. I don't know this. But in the dream, I see I see the cougar. I scruff it and I hold it up, and the cougar is like, it feels like Carl because it also starts to bite me a little bit. Carl bites me a lot. Carl bites me either because um I'm on my feet too much, or my hands hurt too much. Whatever. He'll bite my hands, he'll bite my feet. So I'm used to his bites. So I felt it and I was like, ow, what the hell? This is biting me like fucking how Carl does. I'm like, that's weird. So so I start throwing out the cougar because the cougar's not really really attacking me. I just knew that it just kind of wanted to be there, and it really was feeling like Carl. So I throw the cougar out there into the to the little storm, and I was like, oh, now I feel kind of bad because then I see the cougar out there, and I'm like, for some reason in the dream, because of the sense of Karl. I was like, the cougar, I don't know that there's no way a cougar knows about a hurricane, but cougars know about fucking storms because everywhere they're everywhere. So there's no reason to be like worried about the cougar. If it was a normal cougar, it'd be fine. But I'm like, oh, now I'm feeling a little bad for it. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know it was Karl. I had the sense of it when I woke up. So then I there's a mud room that I let the cougar come into the mud room and I closed the door so it can't get back any further. Um I go see about it later. I think about it. This is early on when I started. This is like probably the third dream that I was journaling. Didn't journal today because like I don't know. I had to shit immediately. So I didn't have the time to do my dream work, my journaling. And I did wake up and the dream for that time was the themes of the trauma and it made me really sad. I was crying all day just from the dream and then it was actually the same of the Kirk incident and I conflicted with my family from a group chat and I got a lot of flack from that for, you know, oh, what a surprise. I have white people in my family. So, that made me cry more too. So it was a lot of crying for that day. And a little bit the day after too, but it was like I was crying all day that day from that dream. So when I was realizing, oh, the cougar is what Karl was trying to show to me, I guess it makes sense that it's me interpreting. Everything is in your brain anyway. It's a dream, you son of a bitch. What are you expecting? Um, but dreams are, you don't think that you're alone. Like it's like astral projecting on accident. So it was nice to know that Karl is going to be his little showing his thing. His spirit is actually a pelican spirit guide. He wanted to show me that right now, in his current existence right now, is that his form is cougar. And so he was there to protect me, but it felt more of company. I don't fucking know anything about cougars, but I feel protected and helped with him. And I already know that I have all these spirits with me too. It was nice to know about that. I was like, okay, I haven't had another cougar form yet. Um, but I want to remember that it's him in his cougar form. I'm trying to make sure that I know that in my next dreams. Um, because he'll probably be a cougar when he's there. He's such a good witch cat that he will come and help me address for everything that I remember and all of that. So he's really, I want to make sure that I know that the cougar is Karl. Just that. He's such a good cat. He's so fabulous. Then we have another dream. It's a separate day. That it wasn't traumatic. There was a little bit of themes about healing, but not the way that I'm thinking about for the trauma, the memory I'm trying to recollect. Um, this one was just, I don't know exactly what the theme was. It probably half of my dreams are trying to be okay with being gay. And then in this one, there is like I'm with my grandparents. There is like felt like Thanksgiving again, but it's not the food that I'm used to. and it's just this other stuff. It's kind of felt like charcuterie than it was for an actual meal. Um, Carl is with me at the thing, and it's like my grandparents' house. Which sometimes in my dreams, with my grandparents, it's like this, it's fancy house because they're pretty rich. And it doesn't look like for a while ago, I would kind of remember just about what they used to have in California when we all lived there. I don't have any recollection of where they live now in Utah. So sometimes I get those dreams with them, and that's just really it's also another fancy house that I'm just like dreaming about. So it's this other one, and we're having these food, and everybody is really loving Carl there, which is just, you know, projectors in my dream. And they all are like wanting to hold and pet Carl. And I'm like, excuse you, like, my cat doesn't like to be pet that much. He doesn't even like when I do that. So can you guys calm down and like not harass him so much? Um, when Carl is set down, um, which this is silly because it doesn't make sense. Like they're just petting my cat, but he's weak, and one of his like right leg is hurting, and now he poorly walks, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys fucked up my cat. What the hell? So I'm like, what the fuck? I go and I look at him, and I'm like, hmm. But in the dream, the gist is that he's actually okay. He has this thing that's wrong, but he will be okay, and he just will heal pretty fast. So don't worry about it. It is what it is. Um, Whatever. And then I wake up. That is predictive because there's also in real life there is a close by um house cat who gets a lot of free range. Um, I don't know the owner. I just know the cat, and he has his balls. So he's like always mewling and he's pissing everywhere. And my neighbor cat, who is a Leda kitty, gets harassed and like almost raped by this um neighbor neighborhood cat, and he's like fucking the worst. Earlier times, I would ask like, what the hell? How does I was asking about how Carl would feel about the gray cat, seeing if they could be friends, and I was letting them spell for me, and they kept doing. They actually spelled it out from Carl that he's his fucking nemesis. I'm like, oh okay, that's a long time ago. Then currently, um, before the dream, they had already kerfuffled, and Carl was kind of winning. Carl was kind of winning, and the gray cat was like my cat was running him around all around the little area. And I was like, dude, you gotta stop doing all of this. So he was winning. So, and then I had the dream. So Carl was winning. I had this dream with this little bit of a prediction. Like the next day, I didn't know this, but I also had clipped his nails. I clip his nails about a month and a half because he does biscuits on my skin, so it hurts. I don't like that. So I clip his nails. Um, I don't have the capacity to know that. I don't even remember if this is the dream and then I clipped his nail, or I clip his nail and then I have the dream. I don't remember this. I don't have a sense of time. So At some point, Carl is out and about. Carl had been behaving really well, that when it's been about an hour to 2 hours that we've been outside, I come inside, and because one time I left and he was really worried. So he used to like be a bitch and try and stay out as long as possible, and he wouldn't be obedient. Then one time I left and he felt like I abandoned him. So now he's being really appreciative and he does know how to behave better. So he'll come in when I come in. So now I don't have any issue. That's before the dreams. Um right before, actually, though. That was recent. What the hell? And so it was the gray cat. They're fighting around, and I'm like, dude, stop it. Anyway, Carl has been so good that I haven't had to put his vest on. I haven't had to keep the leash because he's been doing so good. So he is a little naked kitty, and he goes and he fights the gray cat because he wants to be friends with Bessie so fucking bad. So fucking bad. The gray cat has been harassing Bessie for years. Probably before I moved here, so before Carl has been here. It's been he's 2 years old. So Bessie has had this rapist cat harassing her for probably 3 to 5 years. I don't fucking know. So Bessie doesn't want to be friends with Carl because she's still like, she doesn't trust anything because the gray cat still comes in around. So Carl is like, I want to be friends with Bessie so bad. This is me as a human interpreting a cat's behavior. Um, in the past, I've had Carl trying to befriend with Bessie, and he doesn't. When he first started to try and meet with her in that, he would be cute. He would be no puffy tail, no spine, fur in the air, nothing like that. And he wouldn't growl. Bessie would growl because it's Bessie. Um, and then sometimes Carl would. This is for weeks ago. That Carl would even roll on his belly to be cute, to see if she could be friends. So he's been trying so hard to be friends with Bessie, really hard. And that is why he was happy to fucking fight Gray Kitty, because Carl wants to be friends with Bessie so bad. Like, Carl is a witch, so Carl can know that Bessie is a cosmic friend that he knows, and he has not been able to make friends. And we know that I'm going to move, and so he's not going to see her like ever. And so he's trying so bad to make these very good friends before the change. So, yeah, the fight after his clips are gone, his nails are not as hard anymore, which I always only do the his hands, not his feet, to clip his nails. He comes out and he's fighting the gray cat again, but he's kind of losing it. And I can't hear it. I don't know what's going on. I'm still doing my garden shit or whatever it is. I finally come over. I'm like, come on in. Let's go inside. Carl comes in and I'm like, you look like you were fucked up. You're kind of fucked up. Um, Carl limps. He's fine, but he limps and like he is barely moving. He's very lethargic and he doesn't go eat. He just goes to tries to jump a little bit, try and make it easier. I actually had held him in my arms for a while because I didn't know how bad he was. And I don't know how bad he actually was. I think it's the lack of adrenaline that he's like weak as fuck now. Anyway, it was a fucked up fight, and the gray cat, like the same day that gray cat is still uh patrolling and around, mewing. So he was fucking fine. I see there's scratches on Carl. Um, there's saliva on his fur, and then later I see there's blood over that one. So he got a bite from that on his chest, and he's like kind of he's got a bunch of scratches and bruises. He worries me because he doesn't get anything done. He doesn't even piss until I fall asleep. So he hasn't pissed or shit until I go to sleep. So he hasn't gone to the bathroom for like between 12 to 20 hours. I wouldn't know the difference. 12 to 14 hours. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he still uses a litter box. I'm not seeing any piss or shit anywhere in the apartment. And the next day he's fine. He's fine. He's pissed at me because I don't let him out because he had a big ass fight. But yeah, ultimately, that is what I got for my prediction on that one for my cat. And yeah, I am making him wear the vest. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure he's wearing the vest. I will not use the leash because it gets caught. Because I don't walk him. He's like in my little area. I'm gonna have a farm, like, dude. I'm not gonna put. I thought I was gonna think about leashes and all of that and something, but no. We luckily have this one where he comes in when I'm ready to go in fucking side, so everything went very good. Um, I'm gonna keep him use this leash now. Not the leash, the vest, so that he's at least a little bit safer, can avoid more, and um, he also looks cuter, and he also looks like he's restrained. So at least Bessie can maybe be friends with him, and the gray cat should probably not be here. But I didn't see the gray cat here today. Um. So yeah, everything went. Part of the things about learning shit is that I was supposed to learn that actually you gotta focus on this type of stuff. I'm never gonna have. I don't know the neighbors. I do not know who owns this cat, and they're really poor because that cat is skinny as fuck. Um, I can't solve that. I've been trying to communicate with my cat. My cat was also really fucking sad this like the next day after the fight because I was trying to tell him like cats can hear what you're saying if you kind of if you make it clearer for them to hear. So I'm telling my cat like, you know what? Sometimes people don't understand this. When you come over to Bessie, and you come in demanding, it means you look like the gray cat. So you look like a nice guy who's a piece of shit to Bessie, and she's not gonna like that. She's still in survival mode because of the gray cat, who still harasses her, still always there, and he's a piece of shit. So it makes sense why she doesn't trust you because she's still bent on all of this. She's just trying to survive. She's fine. She's a strong kitty. She just doesn't want to deal with you. So Carl is like I think Carl was pining for Bessie because he's a witch cat. He knows that we're going to move. And so he's like, I can't believe I'm never going to be. It's been like a month or two for me trying to train with my cat and he has a little freedom to try and befriend with Bessie and it hasn't connected. So she's not friends with him and she's like get the fuck out of my way. You're way too close, man. And he's like, I don't even know. So it's sad. I'm trying to tell him that it's not always going to be the way that you think it's going to be, and people are on their own paths. Even though you know that little cosmic friend, the experience paints how you behave. So even though you know about her from your past life or whatever we know about them, her painting right now is from a piece of shit gray cat. And then also he lost the fight. So he's not even the protector that he thought he was going to be. And so shit just happened. So that's my prediction that I've gotten literally come true, which sure, I could be talking out of my ass. I don't give a shit what you want to believe because everything's going to be the way it is. I feel like I learned a lesson from this, and at least I have the support with Karl for whatever I remember, and then at least I know to be a better cat parent, and we luckily had a lot of things going on that we kind of have it pretty set for what I want him when we move, because it's going to be also even more free range than it is now. So at least he kind of knows if he can hear me going to the door, he knows to come in for me. So at least I have that. And I'm telling him, guess what? I want to get more cats. I will go find more cats. We're gonna find your buddies, and there might be. It's not gonna be Bessie, but you're gonna find other cats who are there for you because we want more of that once I move. So it's gonna be good. Let's be sad for that, and we'll appreciate and grieve the experience we've had here in this apartment, this lovely place, and we'll say thank you to this as much as we can, and then be ready for how we grow somewhere else. And damn right, I'll be bringing some cats. I don't know how many I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get however many cats we're thinking about. Maybe the Cosmos will tell me, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for listening. That's some of my dream work. Um, Dream work is the best when you have certain teas that helps you have more vivid dreams, as in you remember them fully for when you wake up. So that's what you want to do. And don't hold yourself. You want to be open and expansive so you can know whatever that may be for your health, your mental health, your anything. And if you want to get any psychic and all that, that's possible too. My dreams, I've had lucidish dreams before, but these ones have not been. They're not even lucid. Um, anyway, thank you for here and listening to this. And um, this one I go by Moonbeam, and that's when I'm doing my witchy stuff. And please subscribe and put on the notice because I am Kami and a witch, and I will not. I assume I'll be shadow banned, and you might as well know what I'm gonna say. I don't want to be doing this every fucking day. It's gonna be a Wednesday and Saturday unless it's back to only Saturday, and I might not even be doing it forever. So, anyway, thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.